You know how to hold your own as a woman. They are very envious of your independence. Independence can attract haters simply because they're not able to hold their own. If you're the kind of woman who can maintain by herself, if you are independent, if you are resilient, if you are considered a strong woman, there will be some people who will absolutely dislike you and be envious and jealous of your independence. These people need you to need them. These people need to be able to hold something over you. And when you don't give them that, they will dislike you or try to give you a hard time. How many times have we seen women in situations where men see how she lives, see how she dresses, see how she acts, and then suddenly they start calling her big money. They start calling her boss lady. They start saying all of these terms that kind of say that you are above my standard. You are a little bit too much for me. You appear to be a little bit bougie, and I don't know if I can maintain this. You see, envy and jealousy from people who feel like your standards are too high simply because you are independent and you're not needy for anyone, that is a red flag. You see, when people start envying your independence, it's often because they want the desire to control you. They want to be able to hold something over you so that they can say, without me, you can't do this. And you often see this in toxic relationships, in toxic situationships between men and women. And you often see this as well with woman to women. When a woman is envious and jealous of the fact that a woman has a man, but her whole personality is not that man. That right there will cause you to have some envy and jealousy from certain people simply because they want you to be in the same needy situation as them. If you are the kind of woman that is independent and you know how to hold your own, not just financially, but just as a woman, as a person, you are more resilient. You know, you might have came up in a household where you've been grown for a very long time. You might have had to grow up fast. And because of that, you learn street smarts in addition to your book smart. That is another thing that people will envy. When you know how to hold your own as a woman, when you are just as well versed in street as you are is in the books, some people will be very triggered and envious of your independence in that way. And see, you might not fit the stereotype. You might not fit the profile of a person who would know certain street terms or street situations. You might not fit the idea of what a woman that been in that kind of lifestyle might look like, but you know about it. And that benefits you because you have the best of both worlds. You see, when a woman knows how to hold her own, when she is considered well-rounded, she is intellectual, she is spiritual, and she is also a woman who is aware of her surroundings. And people will envy the fact that pretty much you're not an airhead. You're not the kind of woman that is easily played, easily surprised by different things, because you are not worldly, but you're aware of the things going on in the world. You're aware of how people move and how they operate and the games that they try to play. You're aware of how people try to manipulate and get over on other people that they presume are gullible. And you're not that. See, when you know how to hold your own as a woman, when you're independent, you take away power from people who want to control. You take away power from people who want to scare you out of doing the things that you know you can do as a woman. You actually, irritate people who feel like you should be a little bit dumber. They wish you were. And because you're not that, you're going to attract some haters. You're going to attract some people who envy how you move in life. They're going to envy the fact that you will make moves and not tell anyone because you know what you're doing. You're independent in that way. You don't need other people to prop you up for you to make a move. You don't need other people to agree with you for you to make a move. If somebody takes something from you or an opportunity is missed, you know there's something else coming. See, you're not easily held back. You operate as a woman who has options, which is also a trait of an independent woman. See, independent women, and I'm not saying independent in the I don't need a man, I don't want a man kind of thing. I'm saying independent as in a grown woman knowing how to hold her own. And that is something that women should be able to do whether you are in a relationship or not. See, and this is a little bit of a sidebar, but still on point. The thing about a woman who knows how to hold her own, she understands that a man is a want and not a need. See, a woman who operates in the sense that her only plan for life is a man, that is a doomed way of thinking because people change. And the fact that you don't think that way will get you attraction from a lot of haters, from a lot of envious and jealous women who hate the fact that you are not so man-centered. And I am a married woman, so I am not saying that there is anything wrong with wanting a relationship, but many women have been gaslit into believing that somehow them achieving a man is some kind of prize or some kind of goal. And it's so much deeper than that. Womanhood is so much deeper than that. And when you know that, you're going to have women who are going to hate on you. If you are a woman who is in a healthy relationship, and I'm just using this as an example, this is not the full message here, but if you're a woman who's in a healthy relationship and yet that relationship is not your full personality, you still have a full life, you're still focused on the things you want to do and need to do for yourself, you're going to have women who are going to look at you as if you are some kind of unicorn, as if you're something weird, something strange, simply because you are still operating independently. And that is not to say if you have someone to depend on that you don't lean on them. I very much lean on my husband, but I understand human nature. And when you understand human nature, which is another thing that independent women, women who know how to hold their own do, we understand human nature. We understand that we can't allow our lives to flow based on other people's emotions. See, when you give so much dependency on another person, you are leaving yourself open to what they want, to what they need, to what they want to give to you. But see, you know how to hold your own as a woman. You don't put all of your life decisions in somebody else's hands. You know how to go out and make your own money. You know how to be resourceful and work with the things that you have. You still look good and feel good to the best of your ability because looking good is not about a man or about anybody else. It's for yourself. You still have hobbies and things that interest you. Your whole life is not about what somebody else wants you to do. See, a woman who knows how to hold her own will definitely be a target for people who are people pleasers. When you are not the kind of woman who is constantly living your life based on how other people are going to see you, if you have your hobbies and the things that you like to do, and you don't look if someone is wondering, I never see her with her kids. She's always at the gym. I never see her with her kids. I always see her out here. She's never with her kids. And I use that as an example because there are some people, like I said, they envy women who know how to hold their own simply because they've allowed other people to become their entire personality. See, another facet of being a woman that knows how to hold her own is that you are strong-minded and you don't take any mess from other people. What do I mean by that? You're not argumentative. You are not uncooperative. You like to get along with everybody who gets along with you. However, you are not the kind of woman who will just sit back and let people belittle her, talk about her behind her back, or, do little shady things in front of her. You're not that tolerant as a woman. You're not open to disrespect. And that will get you a lot of haters, a lot of envy from people who see that you are not this weird, awkward, impressionable person, impressionable woman. You know how to hold your own in that way. You recognize when somebody isn't treating you right and you get up out of there. See, a woman who knows how to hold her own, she doesn't fear the end. And what do I mean by not fearing the end? You don't fear the end of relationships. You don't fear the end of friendships. You don't fear the end of job situations. You do not fear the end of your living situation. You'd rather start over and keep peace than to be a people pleaser and then suffer the consequences. When you're a woman who knows how to hold her own, you're going to have jealous, envious people who are not going to like the fact that you will just and be like, all right, see you later. They're not going to like that. They want you to constantly be fighting and battling for their attention. People who don't like your independence and would hope that you would be able to bend a little bit to their disrespect, bend a little bit to their manipulation, bend just a little bit to how I want to mistreat you so that way everything can stay peaceful. You're past that as a woman. So when you know how to hold your own, you know how to be resourceful and take care of yourself financially if need be. You also know how to keep yourself together because it's not about anybody else. It's about you. You're not looking good, feeling good, working out for somebody else. It's for you. And then you also understand that even if you're in a relationship, your whole personality type, your whole goal for life, your whole plan in life is not a man. It's not that situation. You are a person all on your own, and you know that. And you're going to attract haters because of it, especially jealous men. When a man starts calling you boss lady, when he start calling you big money, when he start criticizing the things that you do, the way that you live, the way that you act, that is not your man. That is a red flag. A little bit of a sidebar, but a masculine man, and if you add to that a godly man, he will be honored by the fact that you are a woman who was able to maintain these things, able to have these things. And because of that, he'll even be more apt to do more for you because you're not even asking for it. Like, that's not the goal. Like, with or without him, you're good. And that's not to say that you don't want to be taken care of, you don't want to be kept. A man who's about his business, he knows this. But the point is that you know how to hold your own as a woman so that you're not left in the dark when people start changing up. And then lastly, you understand that you are not a people pleaser. Because you know how to hold your own, you don't have to sit back and tolerate disrespect. You don't have to sit back and tolerate manipulation. You don't have to sit back and tolerate people trying to mistreat you simply because they feel like you depend on them. See, these people see that you are an independent woman. You know how to hold your own. It's not that you're strong and independent like you don't need anybody. It's just a matter of being a woman of wisdom. And when you add to that spirituality, intellect, and then just street smart, you are an absolute force. I would say for a woman, if you know how to kind of adapt to different environments, you are a force to be reckoned with. If you know how to be, and I'm not saying be hood because that doesn't appeal to every woman and that doesn't identify with every woman. You have some women who grew up in the suburbs, some women who grew up in the inner city, some who grew up in rural areas in the country. All women don't understand those kind of things. But just being a woman, because you tend to be aware of the things that are going on in the world, you're not absorbed or consumed by those things, but you're aware. It's like nobody can pull the wool over your eyes because you're very well aware of what's going on in the world. And some people don't like that. They don't like the fact that they can't walk you around the corner and you're like, nope, I don't go on that side of town. Or, what have you. I use that silly analogy, but being street smart is really a plus in the day we live in. And when you're street smart and you have intellect and you have the wisdom of God, as I see it, that is a force to be reckoned with. So you know how to hold your own as a woman. You are independent. And don't feel bad when it comes to independence, because I know some people have narrowed being an independent woman down to just resources, just finances. If you are not yet in a position where you are financially stable enough to operate on your own, that's fine. It's not a matter of being able to, how can I say it, maintain this lavish lifestyle. As a woman, taking away other people's ability to control you would simply be something as simple as being able to put yourself up in a hotel for a few nights or for a couple weeks and be able to feed yourself until you can figure out how to get out of that situation. You know, just always having some kind of backup plan. And no, if you're in a healthy relationship and you're in a healthy situation, family-wise, there's probably no need for that. But you should always have something just for yourself because, again, being independent and being able to hold your own as a woman really doesn't need any explanation. That's just what it should be. And see, some people, when they see that you are a woman about her business, that you are appreciative of the things that people do for you, but you're still going to do for yourself, some people will be irritated by that. They'll try to figure out, why does it appear like you don't trust us? Why are you not leaning on us so much? Why are you always doing this, doing that? And I have to say it, men will especially be your problem if you are an independent woman and know how to hold your own. You might not see this too much from other women, but when it comes to men, especially financially, some men, not all men, but if some men are not able to hold you down in that way financially, meaning financially take advantage of you, you will find yourself in a very sticky situation. And that's why being independent and being able to hold your own financially is a must. And then just in your mentality as a woman, when people see that you have the mentality, not that you're really hard-hearted, you're a stickler, you don't know how to have a good time, or you're not laid back, it's just a matter of not being an airhead. When they see you have intellect and that nobody can make you spend your money recklessly, nobody can make you do bad things, like you're not easily persuaded to get into crazy things, there will be some people who will call you boring, act like you are a nobody, simply because they can't cause you to act irresponsibly. The women who get it will get it. Knowing how to hold your own will cause other people to envy your independence. It just comes with the territory. Don't feel like dumbing yourself down or kind of scaling back off of your goals and your ambition. That's not the answer. It's just how you go about things as a woman. You can still be independent, because I consider myself very resilient, very strong, and yet I am married. So I know how to act with my husband while he's always the lead. I depend on him, but I also depend on me. I trust God enough to do what I have to do as a woman, even if I wasn't married. You know what I mean? I hope you all get that. Like and subscribe to this channel and share this content. Hit the notification bell so that you're aware when I post a brand new video. If you watch this video until the very end, put the high heel emoji in the comments section. I absolutely love to see it. Take care.